Robert calling in from Long Island, New York. You're up.
Thank you, Peter, for taking my call. I'm a little bit closer than your other callers, but I'm sure you'll understand where I'm coming from with Hurricane Sandy, you being from Connecticut.
Yes.
I've seen firsthand now what the Soviet Union looks like. We have the gasoline lines going for miles, people getting arrested. All these problems which could be alleviated, in my opinion, which I'm sure you'll agree with me, about eliminating these price-fixing they have the anti-price gouging laws. Well,
absolutely. I've been talking about that. If they simply let the gas stations raise their prices, we would not have this problem. Because you now have people are buying gas that they don't need because it's artificially cheap in price. Let the price go up. People will buy less gas. They'll just buy enough to get them where they need to go. They'll drive less. Meanwhile, more gas will come into the cities to take advantage of the high prices. More gasoline station owners would invest in generators if they could charge more for their gas when there's power outages. But all that's illegal, so none of that happens.
Exactly. Like, for example, there might be a guy out there with gasoline in Tennessee, but in order for him to drive that gasoline truck to New York, he's got to charge more money because they're saying only a 10% increase would be price gouging. I said, that's insane. So if gas goes from, say, $4.50 to say $5, that's gouging. So how is that guy, if that guy's coming from Tennessee with his gasoline truck, he's never going to come if he's not going to get paid for the gas. I mean,
I know. You got people being arrested for, and the thing is, what is better? What is better? To pay an extra $5 a gallon for gas or to waste 5 hours in line waiting for it? That's time gouging. I'd rather have my time and pay more for the gas. I mean, is it gouging when it's raining out and the guy wants to sell you an umbrella and he's the only umbrella guy around and he doubles the price because he knows it's raining? Are you going to argue with him and get wet, or are you going to appreciate the fact that there's a guy there with an umbrella when you need one and just buy it for the higher price? Mike, calling from New York City, New York. You're up.
Yeah, going back to gouging for gas, it sounds kind of odd because it sounds like you're justifying the Fed's reason for inflation. Like it's okay to raise prices as long as you don't do it to inflate the money supply. That rising prices.
No,
okay.
you're talking about apples and oranges. It's not okay to debase the money and create inflation, but I'm talking about supply and demand setting prices, and that's not inflation. Some prices rise, some prices fall. So you have a situation like we have in Long Island, New Jersey, where there's not a lot of gas, right? Supply is constrained. Price has to be allowed to rise in that circumstance to balance the market, to have an equilibrium price, to not have a shortage. But what happens is the government comes in, and despite the shortage of supply, the government says we're not going to let price adjust. So demand does not adjust to the reduction in supply. You still have the same amount of demand, even though the price is supply is a lot lower. And so instead of price going up to clear the market, you have shortages and you have long lines and you have people going to jail and you have maybe civil unrest. The consequences of not letting the prices go up on society are much worse than the consequences of letting them go up. But the reason that politicians don't let them go up is democracy. Because it sounds good to the masses, to the idiots, that you're not going to let somebody raise their price when you need gas. And so our elected leaders do this to ourselves because that's how dumb we are, because we vote for these idiots, and they know that the way to get our votes is to promise cheap gas. But at the end, what do we get? We get long lines. That's what we get. You've been listening to The Peter Schiff Show. Sorry for the people still on hold. Try to call back tomorrow. This is The Peter Schiff Show on SchiffRadio.com, the gold standard in talk radio. Bye for now.